So 80% win rate strategy. I'm not going to bore you with the details too much. I'm just going to show you what I'm looking for. And then I'm going to show you some examples of what I've been trading recently on the charts. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. If you do want signals for this, you can get them in the description below. So basically what I'm looking for is, very simply, I'm looking for accumulation, manipulation, sweeping a good level of liquidity, and then distribution back up like this, forming this V shape to the upside, entering on the inversion of a fair value gap like this, targeting a 1-for-1 and basically leaving runners back up through the V shape to the upside. Very, very simple strategy. Looking to hold runners like something like this. This is the strategy. Very, very simple and obvious to look at. Looking at we're targeting this data high here that we got yesterday from Nvidia. I'm just going to show you some of the examples of trades that I've taken recently, or at the very least trades that you could be looking for. If we take a look yesterday, you can see there were a few good little V-shaped patterns. If you zoom out on the chart here, you can see these V-shaped patterns happen all the time on NQ, which is NASDAQ futures, which is what I trade. You can see quite clearly here, there are a lot of V-shapes. And if you can manage to catch some of these back to the upside, you are going to be making money. As you can see, because we're at all-time highs, the vast majority of these do end up going back to all-time highs, or at the very least back to the swing high where they were formed. There's a lot of good trades in here that I've taken recently. This one here was an absolute beast, to be fair. You can see a very, very clear accumulation, massive manipulation down, sweeping out multiple levels of liquidity. We didn't get all the way down to this one, but I thought this was a really, really nice sweep. Then we've also bounced at the bottom of this huge fair value gap here. On the 1 minute time frame here, pretty huge, obvious fair value gap that you could have taken like this. Targeting a 1-for-1. As you can see, the 1-for-1 gets hit pretty much straight away. Very, very nice trade indeed. And then you could have targeted back up through your V shape up to here, and then maybe up to your local swing high like this. For a nice 1 to 3. Absolutely amazing trade. Very, very simple. And pretty much exactly what I was talking about. Let's have a look here, see what else we've got. Friday. I'm pretty sure there was a 30-second on Friday. This one yesterday was a good one. What we're looking for here, I think it was the 3-minute I took on this one. You can see we're obviously coming down here. We're kind of grinding to the downside, but we're waiting for that kind of obvious reversal to the upside. You can see we came down once we got this level here. We came all the way down into this area, sweeping out a bunch of liquidity here. We didn't quite get the sweep of this level, but I thought the reaction was good enough. You could see in hindsight, this was an obvious V shape as well, but you can see, let me just put this in replay mode so you can see this in real time. I'm watching the market trickle down. We come down after accumulating here a little bit on the 1 minute, and then we get this nice, very, very nice sweep and then reaction of these lows down here. If you look, you can see all of these big rejections in real time looked really nice. You can see the reversal of the momentum was quite significant here. Didn't quite get the close on this candle, but we definitely got it on the next one. So I entered here. So I'm thinking we're looking like we're going to be reversing back around. I'm targeting a 1-for-1. For some reason, I don't know why that gets covered up by this line exactly. It's really annoying. But anyway, you can see we came up and hit this pretty much instantaneously in the space of around 5 or 6 minutes, which was really good. So I take half my position off at 1-for-1, go break even on the rest, and then I had runners back up through these levels. This would have been what I would be looking for, basically. And you can see here, we came up, hit the second TP pretty much instantly, messed around a little bit for a good while here, I think, and then came and hit the final TP. In the space of around 2 hours, you can see this was an absolutely amazing trade, another 1 to 5 there. Really, really good trade. Just showing you again the potential of this strategy. You're looking for to catch these V-shapes back to the upside that you get quite a lot on NQ, to be fair. I'm just going to go back through on the 1 minute time frame, and I'm just going to show you all the trades that I've taken recently because I can remember most of them. You can see down here, this would have been a pretty decent trade as well. Got a clear accumulation, a nice manipulation down, sweeping out a ton of liquidity here. I'd call this LR, which is basically low resistance liquidity in a trend line. You can see we've pretty much ran this down to the low. The bounce back to the high is what you'd be looking for. You can see got a pretty obvious area of fair value here, I would say. You could have taken this one or you could have just waited for this whole move here. I personally like to wait for the whole area, I think, because when you've got all these candles in a row, I know this isn't a clean fair value gap like this, where there's literally a gap in the candles, but you can see there's a pretty clear gap in price here, because we've obviously come all the way down through this with no green candles at all. And if you start ripping back through this with only green candles and no red candles, it's pretty obvious that we're going to get that V-shaped reversal. So in any way, you could have taken this one. This one would have worked, as you can see. You could have had take profits all the way back up through all these levels here like this. This would have worked. Basically, the concept itself is just trying to grab an entry, a long entry back up. Once you get a liquidity sweep back up through levels like this. On the NQ, it has this characteristic where it tends to reverse back up a lot. Is there one here as well? I'm pretty sure this would have been a good trade as well. It's 1 minute here. It's a very obvious fair value gap. You can see accumulation. We get market open where we sweep the high twice. We finally get the good sweep of the low. Great momentum back to the upside. We close above that fair value gap here. Just have a 1-for-1 like this. You can see we never closed back below this fair value gap, even though we wicked below it. This is why I do manual stops when we close back below, not hard stops, because obviously I would have got stopped out here and then the trade would have worked. As you can see, if I'd have entered here, 1-for-1 would have got hit in about 2 minutes. Go break even on the rest. Leave a runner to this high here and then just leave a runner back towards all-time highs, because you know that the draw for all-time highs is very, very great. You could have just basically sold most of this at the high for a 1-to-5 or so. You can see this would have almost got stopped out if you were holding this runner. Obviously, holding a runner all day is a pretty weird one. And we did have another trade here. I probably would have just sold all of this at the high, which is what I think I did. So unfortunately, I probably only got a 1-to-2 or something on this, or a 1-to-3. But I can't complain. Another good trade, a very, very simple strategy that worked out for me there as well. You can see here quite a lot of accumulation. Have we got any trades here? Could have potentially taken these ones where you, these Asia session ones are a bit weird, but nothing obvious. So you can see we had this period where we were kind of trickling to the downside for quite a while. This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We didn't have that many good trades. That was last week, I believe. Or was it this week? That was this week. I'd tell a lie. But you can see here there's plenty of opportunities to be getting into the market. That one was a really, really good one. This one on Friday was quite a good trade as well, I think. Although I wasn't here, so I didn't take this myself because I've been on holiday. But you can see we've obviously got a pretty obvious sweep of liquidity here. A very clear consolidation. An obvious sweep. I'm pretty sure the people that I trade with, I think someone took, there might have been like a 30-second in here or something that they took, because obviously this is invalid because it hit the internal swing high before. Where are we? Hit the internal swing high here before we actually got an entry. And then obviously we got this huge, ridiculous candle to the upside on the back of news. But anyway, I'll quit waffling on because you can see the idea. Plenty of winning trades all the time. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts down below if you've got any questions. And also if you want to get signals, get them in the description below. Thanks.